First of all, giving all praises to the God of Israel, the God of our forefathers, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I greet you in peace. My name is Omar Kohen. Kohen is the Hebrew word for priest. I presently live in the land of Israel. I've been living in the land of Israel for the past 35 years. I'm a graduate of the School of the Prophets at Jerusalem. I'm an anointed priest in the community, and I'd like to share some information with you this evening about the plight of our people. Phase 1. This is one of many informative DVDs that will be brought to you to let you know what's taking place in our community. This is something that we know that the masses of the people need to know, because we come from the people, our people that we affectionately call Israel, that are scattered to the four corners of the earth. And I'd like to go into a situation that exists in our community, in our land, the land of Israel. I'm not talking about something that doesn't exist, but I actually live in the land of Israel, not far from the city of Jerusalem. And I'd like to start out and deal with a situation that has taken place that has affected not just us in this community, but has affected the world. It affects the world right now because the world does not know. This community has been an enigma, something strange, something that has been omitted from contemporary black history, that everyone knows of, but doesn't know the intricate details. They know about Hebrew Israelites, but they don't know about what's actually taking place in the land of Israel. There's nothing like an insider's view of what's going on. You can speculate, you can imagine, you can spread rumors, you can gossip, but I'm talking about an insider's view. Someone who has lived in this land, like myself, someone who has worked in this land, someone who has had children, who raised a family in this land, who has went through the blood, sweat, and tears of establishing a community for you outside of the confines of the lands of our former captivity. And I'd like to go into the apparatus that was supposed to bring this to the people, but failed in their dereliction of duty and their obligation to teach the people the difference between what was right and what was wrong. So at this time, I'm going into a very truthful analysis, something that needs to be told for historically correct purposes. This is prophetic, historical, and these are things that were meant to be, and I want to let you all know the great sacrifice and serious effort that we have put forth for the last 4 decades in struggling in self-governance and a serious attempt to establish the kingdom of God on earth. I'd like to talk about the term I use, self-governance. Self-governance meant that we took on the great responsibility and pains of forming a government outside of America based on the principles of righteousness. And we went to our historical narrative, the Holy Scriptures. Now, we know, we don't think or we don't believe, we know that we are the descendants of the biblical Israelites, without a doubt, based in history and prophecy, which we are going to go into, not directly into this presentation, but in this series we are going to come with the unrefutable truth that we are the biblical Israelites, without a doubt, historical and biblical, from the standpoint of the Hebraic text, the original text, and other writings. But we took this on, and we had entities, and we had an entity that was responsible for teaching the people, but they didn't teach the people correctly. Therefore, the people still languish in darkness. When I mean darkness, they don't fully understand their purpose and why they're here, why we came here, and what our future is going to be. This was an exclusive entity that was supposed to teach above everybody else. It's just like in countries, you have laymen and you have clergy. You call your clergy priests, you call them Catholic priests, you call them reverend, you call them a preacher, you call them pastor, but in the Hebraic vernacular, they were called Kohanim or Kohen, but the English translation only meant a priest. And this is the dilemma that the priesthood has led the people into at this present day in the land of Israel. And these facts have to be told for historically correct purposes, that they will understand and the world will understand that at this point they're still dragging their feet. I'm not trying to paint a picture like everything is okay and rosy, but it's in a stage of development, and this is the reason why. I would like to first go into the book of 2 Chronicles, the 15th chapter, the 3rd verse. And it says, for a long time that there has not been a teaching priest, not a ceremonial priest or a ritual priest, but a teaching priest, one that teaches, and the God of truth. And this is the dilemma that we're in. No one has taken the realms of responsibility to break through all of the lies and myths and political stratagems and machinations that exist not just in the world, but even in our community. To break through with the courage enough to stand for the truth, because truth has engaged evil in a life and death struggle at this time. And in this prophetic event and wave of history that we're living in, it has now become imperative and necessary that we step in the cadence of truth to face and confront the falsehood and the lies and the deception that has held our people back. So there's no teaching priest. But we're evolving into a nation of priests. So we have to teach the difference between what is right and what is wrong. And this is the mistake of the ancient priesthood that has followed the priesthood to this day. And I want to read something from the prophet Ezekiel. And I use biblical references because some people might say, well, he's reading out the Bible. That's the book of Christianity. The Bible has been used for many religions. It has been mistranslated, misinterpreted. But I'm using the Schofield Reference Bible at this time because the people in the world as a whole do not understand the Hebraic language. But what I'm reading in English is verified in the original Hebrew text. And I want to read this scripture for you. And this is one of the reasons why our people are languishing in, not just our people, but the people as a whole. The world is now presently rotating on the axis of a lie based on some very simple principles. And I'm going to read something from the prophet Ezekiel. Her priests have violated my law. The laws, the instructions, the guidelines, the ordinances. the priests have violated these laws. These men that were charged to teach the people have violated the laws themselves and have profaned my holy things. They have profaned the holy things, the things that were set aside and sacred. They have profaned them. They have put no difference between the holy and the profane. Everything is everything. They have not set up a standard. They have not put a difference between what's right and what's wrong. Neither have they shown difference between the unclean and the clean. They have made no difference between it. So therefore they are not doing their job. They are not distinguishing. The standard is not set up. What they have done is taken on the cultural exchange, and the cultural exchange that they have taken on is being like the people of other nations. We were supposed to be a light unto the world, but the world is groping in darkness now because we have not put a difference to say it's wrong to do this, and it's wrong to steal, it's wrong to murder, it's wrong to lie, it's wrong to disrespect your parents, it's wrong to be an idol worshiper, it's wrong to do many things. It's wrong to commit adultery. These things are wrong. You have to tell people that these are in violations of universal laws. These are not the laws of Moses. Man defined these as the laws of Moses. It's wrong to violate certain ordinances. You just cannot do and say and eat anything. And this is what the priests have failed to do. You cannot have any type of behavior and expect to be a blessed people. It says, they have hidden their eyes from my Sabbaths. They have hidden their eyes. And I am profaned among them. When it says they hidden their eyes from the Sabbath, that means they have violated an ordinance that means that you are supposed to cease. You're supposed to have a succession of doing certain things on that day that belong to the Most High. He said he created the Sabbath day as a day of rest. The word Sabbath in Hebrew only comes from the verb lishvot, which means to cease. It's a succession. It doesn't mean it's a day of rest, but you have a day that you set aside where you don't do anything. You just rest that day. You just sit back and you don't get up and paint a house. You don't go out and empty the garbage truck. In this land is like no other land. On that day, certain portions of this land in Israel, the whole country shuts down. You cannot just walk into any store. The stores are closed. The traffic, the buses stop. The buses stop. There's no restaurants open. The airports, they're shut down. Certain neighborhoods, religious neighborhoods, even in places like Jerusalem, you can't even drive a car through there. So this land has a special blessing for keeping that day, the Sabbath. It goes on further. Well, I won't go into the princes yet, because we're not talking about the princes, which is the 27th verse. But I'm going to go back, and I'm going to say this, that the priests were the most important entity to instruct the people, and I'm going to tell you why. And it goes into the prophecies of the book of Malachi. And it starts at the 2nd chapter and the 1st verse. And it says, the priest to be disciplined by God. It says, and now, O you priests, this commandment is for you. See, the priest had a special commandment. The king didn't have the special commandment. None of the rulers didn't have a special commandment. The people didn't have a special commandment. They had the commandments as a whole. But the priest said, but this commandment is just for you. It says, and if you will not hear, and if you will not lay it to heart to give glory unto my name, not the name of any other God, not the name of a man, not the name of an idol, but if you don't lay it to your heart to give glory unto my name, the name of the God we serve is YAH, as in the word hallelujah, which is a Hebrew word which means literally praise YAH. In every language you hear this word, hallelujah. If you didn't know it now, you know you speak in Hebrew. It says, said the Lord of hosts, I will even send a curse upon you, and I will curse your blessing. Yea, I have cursed them already, because you do not lay it to heart. Now, this is what's taking place. It ain't talking about your physical heart. It's talking about your whole being. It's talking about if you don't take this and absorb it internally, and this becomes your expression, this is what you do. Because when people see you, they know that you are giving glory to the name of the Most High. It says that if you don't do this, he said, I'm going to curse you. Behold, I will corrupt your seed. Your children are going to be corrupt. And I'm going to spread dung on your faces. You know what dung is? That's like excrement. That's how you're going to be stinking. It says, and one shall take and dung upon your solemn feast, and one shall take you away with it. And you shall know that I have sent this commandment unto you, that my covenant might be with you. So it was a covenant, an agreement that was made. Now we're going to go further, and you're going to see why this was so important, this commandment to the priest. You're going to see right now why this commandment was so important to the priest, along with other things. It says, for the priest's lips should keep knowledge. The priest was supposed to keep knowledge. He was supposed to study. He was supposed to know more than anybody, the priest. He was supposed to constantly be a step ahead of everybody, the intellectuals, the scholars, everybody. He was supposed to be the teacher of teachers. But it says, for the priest's lips shall keep knowledge, and they should seek the law at his mouth. Now, the priest was the one who was supposed to teach the law, not the king, not the princes, not the ministers, not the prophets. The priest was supposed to do this. For he is the messenger of the Lord of hosts. Now, the Lord of hosts in Hebrew says Yahweh Sebaot, which only means the God of armies. That he was supposed to be the messenger of the armies of Israel, the people, the masses of Israel, because Israel was an army, the army of the Most High. This is what it was. It was a spiritual army that was supposed to be a light into the world. And the priest was the special commandment was for the priest to be the tip of that. They were supposed to lead the people. When Israel went into battle, when I say Israel, I'm talking about the masses of the people. I'm not talking about the physical country Israel, or these people that live in Israel today and call themselves Israel. I'm talking about Israel, the masses that scattered to the four corners of the earth on the slave ship for 400 years of captivity. That's what I'm talking about. When I say Israel, that's what I'm talking about. My people, it says, when Israel went into battle, the priests would have carried the Ark of the Covenant in the lead of the armies of Israel, the physical battle. They had, and the priests were some of the priests were some of the most terrible warriors in Israel. When you read the history of the priesthood, they were the tip of the spear that led Israel into battle. Not Judah, not Ephraim, not Benjamin, but Levi. They were the priests. They were in the tribe of Levi. But they were backed up by the rest of the army of Israel. But according to when Israel went to war, the priests were in the front with the law and was throwing down, highly trained. So the priest wasn't no punks. The priest was throwing down. It says, because he's the messenger of the Lord of hosts. Before the king would even go into battle, he'd have to consult with the priest. He'd have to get the oracle. Is we going to win or is we going to lose? Should we go to battle or should we not go to battle? They go to the high priest. He said, hey, go on up. And who going to go up first? The priest. And after the priest, it was always who? Yehuda. It says, but you are departed out of the way. This is the present priest. They departed out of that way. You have caused many to stumble at the law because you haven't made a difference between the holy and the profane. You have not taught the people. You are not the teaching priest. It's not in your heart. You haven't accepted the God of truth that was spoken of in Chronicles because you think this is some kind of a game, a popularity contest. You're afraid. The priest they wasn't afraid of nobody. The princes didn't run the priests. The priests taught the princes. The ministers didn't run nobody. Wasn't no such thing as no entities that were created here. You got the Crown Brothers. This is the entity that was created. The men of valor. All the priests was men of valor. You didn't nobody had to give you no good merit badge because you sunk it up to a prince. Come on now. I'm talking about you stumbled out the way and you have been corrupted, saith the Lord of hosts. Therefore have I also made you contemptible. Because you ain't got no, you just held in contempt right now. And base before all the people. Now, it's a known fact in the community that we know what the priest is teaching by the actions of the people. And the people right now are in bad shape because of your failure, your miserable failure to teach the people the difference between the holy and the profane. This is the present priesthood that's in the land of Israel right now. And truth be told, because it's time for the truth to be revealed to the whole world. The people in this community know it, so quit faking. You ain't doing what you're supposed to do. All of you priests in the cities of Mizpeh Ramon, Dimona, Arad, and Tiberias in the north. You're not doing what you're supposed to do. You're walking around shaking You're some miserable cowards. You're afraid to stand up. Anybody that stand up for the truth, you looking at them all askance and like, oh, he shouldn't have said that, Schultz. You shouldn't have wrote that letter. You shouldn't have said that to the prince. Don't nobody get nothing to care about what we say to the prince or the minister. We serve YAH. That's who we supposed to serve. That's who our fear is supposed to be. What they gonna do to you? I'm gonna go into several examples. It says, therefore have I also made you contemptible and base before all the people, according as you have not kept my ways, the ways of the God of truth, and have been partial in the law. You've been partial in the law because, hey, some laws you abide by, some you don't. The biggest law you break is respect to persons. You pass over the deeds of the wicked. You ain't valiant for the truth. You're not going to stand up and look somebody in the face and say, hey, Prince, you wrong. Hey, King, you better get yourself in order. You can't protect no pedophiles and no homosexuals and no thieves and no liars and no idol worshipers, and you can't protect no murderers and no adulterers. You can't do that. You got to stand for the truth. Come what may. Because you're supposed to be what? The God, a servant to the God of truth. And you're not that. This is why it says in the prophecies, the prophet Isaiah, the 58th chapter in the first verse. I'm calling these scriptures so you can look them up in your Bible, because you think I got a trick Bible up here. Isaiah 58:1, it says, cry aloud and spare not. Lift up your voice like a trumpet and show the house of Israel their sins and the house of Jacob their transgressions. But you ain't did that. Because you scared that you might offend your wicked son or your no good daughter or your no good friend. You didn't separate yourself between the holy and the people. You didn't teach the people the difference between the holy and the profane, the clean and the unclean, what was right and what was wrong. You just let them bring you anything. This is why the scriptures admonish us to cry aloud and spare not. Just don't spare. Ain't no respect to persons when it comes to the truth. If you're wrong, you're wrong. If it's your son, your daughter, your wife, your relatives, your best friend, whoever it is, if they're wrong, you got to tell them, because if you love somebody and you want to keep them out of danger, you're going to tell them the truth. Don't go over that street over there, because over on there it's a drop off. You can drop off and kill yourself. If you don't love nobody, you're not going to tell them. Well, I don't think it's my business to tell him that he be messing with somebody's wife, because he might not speak to me no more, or she might roll her eyes at me. I can't tell her, don't oppress the widow and the fatherless, because that's so-and-so's wife. I can't say, are you in this, because you let people just do anything. You don't have no sense of justice. You're afraid. You're a coward, a miserable coward. And this is why the community is all off, because you ain't standing for truth. We know what you're teaching about what's happening in the midst of the people. You talk about culture. Wearing certain garments ain't culture. Keeping the law is the culture of Israel. Keeping the guidelines, the ordinances, the statutes, universal laws. That's the culture. Don't look at me on the outside, because the wicked wear fringes too. What it said in the book of Job, wherever the sons of YAH gather, Satan also gathering the sons of the wicked one. So they look just like you. But what come out of their mouth? Do they do what come out of their mouth? Are they hypocrites? Are they defying what they teach? Or what you teaching them? Or are you defying what you teach? Or are you teaching, period? These are the things that we want to know. That's culture. They don't wear no guy. He ain't got no fringes and cords of blue on, and she ain't got a cord of blue on. What do that have to do with treating your brother and your sister right. Because the wicked wear it too. That's how they fit into the sky. They be up in the holy convocations jumping up saying hallelujah the loudest. And to be sneaking up rolling their eyes at your 8-year-old daughter or your son. And you know that, and you won't say nothing about that. And some of you all's children been molested in the priesthood, and you won't even stand up and say, you're afraid. You're a coward. Somebody come and say, don't say nothing about that because that gives the community a bad image. The truth can't hurt the community. The truth can only enhance it and show the world that we ain't playing. If you're wicked, you out of here. And if you're not wicked, we're going to see you. If you don't get out, we're going to see you on the battlefield. Because it's coming. We're going to bring it to you. We ain't waiting for you to come to us. Now we on a spiritual offensive against all of you wicked dogs in this land perpetrating and masquerading and that you all are righteous people. You got to go. The time has came where it's going to be it's a showdown. The sons of light against the sons of darkness. And I'll tell you this, y'all don't care nothing about numbers when it comes to the showdown with his enemies. He'll even deal with the demonic forces sponsoring those enemies. He didn't put one or put 1,000 to flight, two or put 10,000 to flight. So don't be walking around here with your chest poked out like you and your face all twisted up because somebody telling you the truth. That's the job of the priest. Why do you think the priest was supposed to be tough? Be no weakling walking around here like a Catholic priest, looking all pious and in the background trying to molest some child. It ain't like that. That's why we have to cry out loud. It says in the book of Daniel 12, chapter 10, verse 8, but the wicked ain't never going to understand. So some of y'all not going to understand me. And some of you all going to hate me. The haters, I don't care. I'm going to give you something to hate about. Just be patient. It's more coming than this. You hated the words of the prophets. You hated the prophets. You hate the messengers. You hate their words. And you're going to hate those that deliver those words and got the balls to tell you that you're wrong. Matter of fact, I'm going to start making balls for some of y'all and selling them on sale because you're scared, brothers. We need to get some priestesses around here. That's why we got a nation of priests, because we're going to have some sisters to help enforce this stuff. I hate to say that, but hey, we have some mighty sisters in the history of Israel. And I ain't putting y'all down neither. You be up there saying the big, long prayers. Marriage to the Lamb, Christian concept, Christian Hebrew, and you know that ain't right, priest. You know that ain't because you ain't studying. You know that ain't right. Forcing people to take vows. Come on now. This ain't the caveman days when you hit a woman across the head with a club and carry her across the threshold and say that's your wife. That's what the vows are. If you don't say a vow, you're not in this. A vow to the corrupt leadership. And you all know that it ain't right. And I'm going to break this whole thing down about the vows. It says, you don't give no vows unless listen, we got to break this thing down.
In a world that's going insane, taking chances on their lives. They don't understand, they must pay a price. Someone knows what's going down. There's no more time, stop fooling around. Don't believe me, wait and see. Yeah, the time has come for your destiny. Yeah, somebody's watching you. Somebody's watching you. Yeah. Somebody's watching you. Somebody's got the eyes on somebody's you. Watching you. Oh, beware, look out. Oh, ba 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 do ba do ba ba ba. Life is up
vow and vows and irrational speaking. Every year, we had what they call in 2000 the marriage to the Lamb, which is a Christian concept when you study it for the Christians, but the Christian Hebrews took it. And I just want to say something incidentally about this whole thing about the marriage to the Lamb. In 1992, Reverend Moon also had a marriage. And this thing, if you go on YouTube right now, you'll see that the Reverend Moon had this large, spectacular marriage, and it was similar that was taking place here. And also some of his representatives came up to this marriage to the Lamb. Reverend Moon has now made transition and passed away, but he gave this same ceremony, type of ceremony, but on a huge scale, which was really scaled down here. So we know where the idea came from. Deny it or not, Reverend Moon did this first. Whoever does not know who Reverend Moon is, you don't know what's really has taken place in the earth in the last 20 years when it comes down to ecclesiastical false doctrines. He was a Korean preacher who claimed himself the Messiah of the whole earth. That's who Reverend Moon was. So he ran into somebody else that was saying they was the Messiah, so it was a little clash there. But anyway, let me go into vows. We take this vow every year because we had this ceremony of marriage to the Lamb. The vows basically were good vows, until you got to the 8th vow. When you get to the 8th vow, we're talking about I'll do anything that I'm told by basically the leadership to do. I'm going to do that. I'm going to honor whatever they say. Now we know that these leaders are corrupt, untaught. Some of them are some atrocious liars. Some of them are some criminals and some thieves. And I'm calling them that, and I don't care if they don't like it, because I'm crying aloud, sparing not, and lifting up my voice like a trumpet. And we all know that they are some criminals because they have displayed the characters of criminals through the years and have been very biased and unjust individuals, liars, bearers of false witness, thieves, adulterers, protectors of the wicked. We know this now. And this is about a vow that many people had a problem with, the 8th vow. But this is what a vow is. And I'm going to read from Deuteronomy, the 23rd chapter, and I'm going to go into the law concerning vows, the biblical ordinances about a vow. In the 23rd chapter, the 21st verse, it says, When you shall vow a vow unto God, you shall not be slack to pay it. You got to pay these vows. When you say this, you got to pay them. It says, the Lord thy God will surely require it of you that you have to pay this vow. And it would be sin in you if you don't pay it. And sin is the transgression of the law. And the wages of sin is what? Death. It says, but if you shall forbear to vow, it shall not be a sin to you. Now, forbear. What does forbear mean? There's a definition for that word. And to forbear means to refrain or abstain from, desist from. You can refrain from taking a vow, and it says it won't be a sin on you. Now, in this community, if you don't take the vow, they say you out of the community. You're not in this. You're not in this anymore. Then it goes further to keep back, to withhold. You say, I'm not ready to do that. I don't think I can take this vow. I'm not ready to do it. What was said verbatim was that a vow is something rarely made, and before such a vow was made, there had to be much consideration. Now, the Hebrew word for vow is pronounced neder. Neder. That's the Hebrew word for vow, is neder, for all you Hebrew scholars out there. The Hebrew word for rare, like something rare, is nadir. So what we see from the original Hebrew is that a vow is something rarely taken without much consideration. Live there is a vow. Nadir is rare. So it was something that was rarely taken. But what was originally taught, and this is the distorted view that they have now, because you can pump yourself up. You can pump yourself up to be like you correct, but you can be sincere, but you can be sincerely wrong. Because what then took place is they come and tell you didn't take the vow. How many times you got to take a vow to your wife? Every year? That means you got an insecure relationship. You stalking her. You peeking around corners. You listening at doors. You going through a purse. She going through your wallet. She looking at your text. She all in your phone, seeing who you call. That's an insecure relationship, and that's what take place here. It's like some type of you up, they down, you down, and they up, and everything it's they created a community of paranoia. You got people that listen and be wanting to get things and run back and get some brownie points on you and be gripping and sucking up the individual so they can get a smile, like some little children getting some candy for telling on somebody. It says, but the vow, concerning these vows was very important. It says, if you forbear, if you don't want to take the vow, it ain't no sin, but up in here it's a sin. If you go up in here and don't take no vow, it's a sin. And then when we go into the book of Ecclesiasticus, it even gets deeper, because we understand that vows and irrational speaking, you can say things, but you be held accountable for that. You can't just say something. You make a promise to somebody, especially if you make a promise to your child, that you're going to have to do it. It says, be not rash. Read out Ecclesiastes, the fifth chapter, the second verse. Be not rash with your mouth, to let not thine heart be hasty to utter anything before God. You can't let, and what it's saying is, you better consider before you say something. It says, for God in heaven and thou upon the earth. I ain't talking about a little spookiness like he up in the clouds looking down on us in the Christian concept. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the God that's of the universe that's in us everywhere, that we can see with our eyes, the elements, everything, and even in each other. It says, for they consider not that they do evil. He said, but let your words be few. For a dream cometh through the multitude of business, and a fool's mouth is known in his multitude of words. This is the key verse here. When you vows a vow unto God, defer not to pay it. You have to pay for these vows. For he had no pleasure in fools. Pay that which thou hast vowed. Better it is that you should not vow than you should vow and not pay. Suffer not your mouth to cause your flesh to sin. Remember, sin is transgression of the law, and the wages of sin is death. Neither say you before the angels that it was an error, that I made a mistake, I shouldn't have said that, because you shouldn't have let it come out your mouth in the first place. And when it comes to these vows and irrational speaking, the people have been forced to do this up under coercion, under intimidation, up under to be accepted. And then they come and they say, Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur is supposed to be the season of reconciliation and atonement, because it's the history of Israel. Israel messed up, they atoned, they reconciled, and they were restored. They come to and the Crown Sisters got that bad. That's this group of sisters that are over the sisterhood. It's like an exclusive club. I know they're going to be mad at me for saying this, but I'm telling the truth, and everybody know it. They're insensitive, and they come and they try to separate sisters from their husbands. They'll come and say, are you in this? They on the phone. This time of the year, we approaching young people. We just want to know, is you in this? In what? We 7,000 miles away. What you mean, are we in this? We here? Who you with? What you mean, who I'm with? I'm with the God of Israel. Who you with? You need to be sweeping out in front of your own doorsteps first. Talking about, well, then it'll be an announcement. So-and-so is not in the sisterhood. Show me a sisterhood. Show me a brotherhood. You send somebody over there, tell my wife, you in this. Who you with? And she been with me all these years. Who you think she with? She ain't with you. Who you with? Don't be coming talking stupid, because we all know each other up in here. And you know who I'm talking to. I ain't biting my tongue. All of y'all call it up sisters. But is you just and equal with it? Are you just and equal with that? Are you going through are you going through your families with that? No, you ain't doing that. Brothers, are you going through your families with that? You so busy doing things, but when it comes down to your family, you got excuses for them. You letting them slide. For somebody that ain't did nothing, you want to get them to make an example, just to say you're doing something, and you ain't doing nothing but stacking up coals on top of your own head, heading straight to a lake of fire. And I ain't talking about no Christian lake of fire neither. The essence and obligations, the roles and duty of a true priest. And they shall teach my people the difference between the holy and the profane. The priest should do that. The priests are supposed to teach the people the difference between the holy and the profane, the clean and the unclean. The priest was supposed to do that, not sit back and be no cowards and no chumps and afraid to speak out. The priest was supposed to teach the people. It says, and in controversy, because we have controversy. Anywhere you got this many black people, you're going to have some controversies. If you got 4 or 5 people, you're going to have some controversies. We got thousands of people, so it's going to be some controversies. It says, and in controversy, it said they stand as judges. It didn't say that the princes was going to judge. Read the book. The prince has always been corrupt. Wasn't no such thing as ministers. The kings was always corrupt. Since when did we have women judging men? Anywhere in the scriptures, unless it was some Jezebel or somebody. Come on now. And in controversy shall they stand as judges. They shall judge according to my ordinances, according to YAH's ordinances, the God of Israel's ordinances. And it says at the mouth of 2 or more witnesses. That's biblical law. At the mouth of 2 or more witnesses, let the matter be established.
Life is up and sometimes down. Everyone feels sometimes hurt inside. Do unto others as you have them do to you. Do somebody wrong, it's coming back on you. The Father knows what's going down. Somebody Somebody's watching you. Oh, somebody's watching you. Somebody's looking. You better beware. Somebody's watching you. Somebody's got the eyes on you. Somebody's watching. Somebody's looking. Somebody's watching. Somebody's looking at you. Yeah. Somebody's looking. Somebody's watching you. Yeah. Somebody's watching. You better stop what you do. Somebody's looking. Beware, look out.
The present priests here have never stood for anything meaningful. They got a perfect record for that, the priesthood. And whatever they told or instructed to do or repeat, that's what they do, which is always on the wrong side of truth, because the men that they're supposed to teach, who they are not teaching, have now reversed it through political stratagems and got the priests intimidated, like some cowards. They walking around here, well, sorry, the minister didn't say that, or the prince didn't say that, or the crown sisters didn't tell me to say that. They got some sisters telling them what to do. If anyone is weak, it's the present priesthood. They have not stood for universal guidelines, laws. They have not stood in proper judgment. They have not even interceded for those who were judged falsely, those who were not represented properly. They have never instructed the people, never, not once. And they were given at least 1 day a week to teach. 1 day a week. They had more teaching time than anybody. And all they did was sing songs. That's all they did. Like they were in some type of church or revival meeting. Christian Hebrews. That's what I call them. They had pictures of idols in their house, their idol. They never taught this basic law that could have corrected so many things, brought so much revelations of evil against people and so much joy against people that were falsely accused. It reads on this wise: one witness shall not rise up against a man for any iniquity. Iniquity is something that you do wrong. For you all that may not understand the word. I don't know. We don't use the word iniquity in 2013. This is 1613 English translation of the Bible. It says, one witness, you understand that, shall not rise up against a man or a woman for anything evil that they did or say, or for any sin, in any sin that he or she sins, at the mouth of 2 witnesses, or at the mouth of 3 witnesses, shall the matter be established. So you got to have 2 or 3 witnesses to even accuse you of something. And then as far as due process, they've never even demanded that you have due process. They've never demanded of anybody to say, look, you have a right to face your accuser. They've never stood for the things that would make a people, a nation, just and sound, and the people feel safe. You got to have 2 or 3 witnesses, and you have to have the right to face your accuser. If a false witness or a liar rise up against any man to testify against him that which is wrong. Because you got some people that are just lie on you because they don't like you or because they're evil or they're possessed by the spirit of a liar. So if a false witness, now these things are recorded in Scripture. And I know that I'm reading from the book of Deuteronomy, the 19th chapter, the 15th verse to the 20th verse. And people that will hear this, I want you to look at it yourself because this is not no trick Bible that I have. When you open up yours, it'll say the same thing. It says, then both the men between whom the controversy is, between both of them, it says, shall stand before the judgments of God, before the priest and the judges who shall be in those days. In these days, the priest had to be involved in everything to make sure that the judges wasn't corrupt. Because somebody could have a corrupt judge up there. They could have somebody that's swinging in their favor for some reason. You had to put him in check. Because we know that a gift blinds the eyes in perverse judgment. That's written in the scriptures because it's always been those who try to do things and slide out of it through influence. It says, and the judges shall make a diligent inquiry. That means that this has to be an investigation because you're dealing with somebody's life. These are life and death situations. You can't just say, well, we know he did it by the Spirit. What spirit? Your spirit? You can't accuse nobody by the Spirit. You got to come up with facts, evidence, undeniable things to convict somebody when their life is on the line. Even in a court system, they got what they got, the Miranda Act, where you got at least a right to face your attorney. I mean, to have an attorney of your choice, if nothing but a state's attorney, you're supposed to be allowed to at least get one phone call. You have the right to remain silent because anything you say can be held against you until you get an attorney. That's in what we call the world. How much more in the righteous cycles of the God of creation who set forth the laws? It says, you shall make a diligent inquiry. You got to investigate when you're dealing with somebody's life. It says, and behold, if the witness be a liar or a false witness, and have testified falsely against his brother, if we find out you lying now, that you done perjured yourself, it says, then shall you do unto him as he had thought you was going to do unto his brother. Whatever you thought he was going to get, if you thought he was going to get a whooping, a pumpkin head, if you thought he was going to get 40 lashes, banishment, the electric chair, slapped around, hey, then if you thought that was going to happen to him, that's what happened to you. It says, if you shall do unto him as he had thought he would have done unto his brother, so shall you put evil away from among you. And when people hear this, they're going to say, wait a minute, I can't just be lying now no more. He didn't steal that from me. You know, I better get that straight. It says, and all those who shall remain shall hear and fear, and shall henceforth commit no more any such evil among you. Because people going to hear. People going to hear about that. They're going to say, hey, they ain't playing. If somebody is a child molester and it's proven, if it's proven, hey, we can't take you out because we know we ain't in control like that. We may want to take you out, and that eventually may happen, but we can throw you out. And all of those who don't throw you out and who don't pay no attention to the legitimate cry of the people, you just as guilty as the sodomite, you just as guilty as the pedophile, you just as guilty as the criminal because you aiding and you abetting that. If your mama rob a bank and she come and hide in your house and the FBI is on her tail and they busted in your house, you was aiding and abetting your mama. They don't care if it was your mama. You going to jail with your mama. And likewise, if you go to your mama's house after you done robbed the bank and you done gave her some money, say, hey mama, you ain't got to pick up them food stamps today, or here's $50, go get a drink, or whatever. She aiding and abetting. She going to jail. They don't care if it's your mama. They don't care who it is. And even more so, in immorality, you know there's some pedophiles up in here, priesthood, but you ain't moving on them. And then the priest that move on him, you looking at him like he crazy. And I'm saying that you all know my position when it comes to these low-life scumbags, skunk, dog, snake, pedophiles that have molested the children through the years. You protect the pedophiles, but yet and still, what about the victims and the families of the victims and the irrevocable damage, that psychological damage that they've done to their victims? You don't give a care about them. It's just that your government official, yeah, some of y'all in the government, and let me hear you all talking about this ain't true, and I'm gonna flash your face on the screen and pull your X-file out. Because as a priest, I know everything that's taking place and have taken place. I ain't trying to bust everybody, but I'm trying to kill a spirit. And the spirit is the spirit of perversion. You're not going to turn out all these children up in here. You getting turned out, turned from our midst. The day is coming. You ain't going to be able to hide. And all those that's aiding and abetting, you all going too. Watch and see what your fate be. Because you going. You ain't heard the message? Because of who bringing the message? But the place we call hell, America, we call that hell, Babylon. They still put up signs saying that a child molester live here, a pedophile live here. The community is notified, but you don't care. You let pedophiles have businesses, walk around, be a part. You party with them, you eat with them, you laugh with them. You bless them, you sit back and you hold conversation like you all right. You done rationalized evil. You got the people rationalizing evil. You done made evil comfortable in your midst. Priesthood, because you're supposed to teach the difference between the clean and the unclean. That's an unclean person. That's a profane person. But you ain't doing that. You sitting back with your mouth closed, walking around here looking like a chump, because that's what you are. But you'll twist your face up when you see somebody that's standing up for the truth. I'm telling you, people have a tendency, Israel has a tendency to rationalize evil. They on record for loving to hear smooth things and utter deceit. You don't want no correction. That's why you're in so much trouble. Say, when a man's ways please God, he even make his enemies be at peace with him. Our enemies ain't at peace with us. They're supposed to be doing everything for us and in our behalf. But you walking around here scared to confront. It's been so many good things. I'm going to talk about some of the good things that we've experienced in this land. And as a people in a community, we've had some great times in this land. We even learned so much from being here. Everything ain't just been bad. It was times when the priesthood wasn't bad like that. You all done ushered in the Holy Spirit, then did a lot of things. But when it came down to the throwdown with the wicked, you turned into some chumps. Our people haven't heard the instructions, the laws, the universal laws that was from the foundation of the earth. And they count it as a strange thing. This is what the prophet Hosea says in the 8th chapter. Says, I done gave you the great things in the laws, but they count it as a strange thing because you have not taught them to the people. You were talking about you a priest. Was you just a priest to just stand up in some ceremonial position? To just do a wedding? What are you there for? Or just to have the title, a priest? You ain't no priest. You just ain't nothing. And I'm telling you, you ain't nothing. And this is why you dismissed. There's no priesthood anymore in this land. And you can rebuttal this if you want to. But let's go into the record. What are you doing to teach the people? What are you doing to correct the people? The people don't have no respect for you all. They don't have no kind of reverence for you all. You all can't tell them nothing because you have not endeared the people. They come to you in confidence and tell you something, and the next thing you know, everybody know about it. Because you're telling your wife, and she telling her friend, and they telling the friend, and your children is overhearing you, and you have betrayed their secrets, and they don't trust you because you have failed to win the confidence of the people because you reveal your sources, and you're not supposed to do that with your fat mouth self, running around here trying to act like you know something. And the worst person to tell is anybody. You're telling your best friend. And before you know it, everybody know a person's business. Or you get up on the weekend and you talking about it. Now the people don't trust you because you don't trust yourself. You don't trust each other. You failed in your moral obligation and your dereliction of duty as priest. In your slothful masquerade. You just slothful. You know what slothful is? You just walk around dragging all the time. Your clothes ain't never fitting you. Well, your title ain't fitting you. It ain't your clothes. You can be dressed neat, but your approach to teaching the people is slothful. You preaching and teaching what the people want to hear, what they want to hear, not what they should hear. This is what you do. You invade their privacy in the wrong way. You're just lazy, incompetent, mummified, and you're walking around like zombies, being directed by people who don't know as much as you were taught, because I know what you were taught. I know what you were taught. I taught some of y'all, and you know that. But when it came down to backing up the truth, you all were some chumps. Talking about how bad you is, and you scared to even call out a pedophile. Come on now. You scared to say, give him 3 more chances. What, you got some tendencies or something? That you want to give him 3 chances? That's like cutting a man's wrist off. That's a thief. Cut his hand off. He go a hand up in the back. Let's give him 3 chances. Well, we already know that hand that came up is a thief. If you talk about giving them 3 chances, I want to go into a historical, biblical precedent. Israel. We came out of Egypt. We were wandering in the wilderness for 40 years. 11-day journey took us 40 years because the death angel that was in Egypt followed Israel, the children of Israel, into the wilderness. Because his job wasn't just to get the Egyptians. The death angel came in the wilderness to finish the Hebrews off that was Egyptians. Just like it's going to finish off some of these spirits that's up in here now that are modern day still Negroes, still leaning toward Western tendencies, still doing the things that they were doing over there, that they were supposed to be purging themselves from and never did. Talking about, well, we came here to do certain things and to purify ourselves, but now, you know, we just didn't have enough time. How much time do it take you to say that I ain't gonna do this no more? Maybe like you an if you're an ex-convict, it only means that you not a convict no more. You didn't turn it around. You know, you're a Christian Hebrew. You got this concept that I can do what I want to do, and I can say I believe, and then I'm saved. But you got to do more than believe. You got to do something. You got to. You have an obligation as a person, as an individual, to be a light unto the nations. Your example. You cannot be a Christian Hebrew at the same time. You cannot say I worship YAH and I worship Jesus at the same time. That ain't gonna work. That's confusion. That's what it is. I'm going to go into the doctrine of Balaam, Numbers the 22nd chapter, because Balaam was the greatest sorcerer of that time in this region of the world, and he was hired by this king, Balak. He was hired by him to curse the Hebrews, because when he went up in the mountain and he seen Israel was coming through, when we came out of Egypt, we was undefeatable. Nothing could stop us. The army of Israel was unbeatable. They go to war, check it out, and not lose a man, and was destroying every nation that they was coming in contact with. Now you got to remember, they just came out of Egypt. Some people call it Kemet, Mizraim, but we just came out of there. So he knew that they was heading to his territory, his domain. So he got this sorcerer. He said, we can't beat him. He said, but I want you to curse him. This is Numbers the 22nd chapter to the 25th verse. 25th chapter. It's 3 chapters. I'm not going to go into it now, but I want you to quit being so lazy and do some investigation. Priesthood. I ain't putting this on the people. You're supposed to read this, and you're supposed to bring it to the people in a way that they can understand it. And he took him up on this mountain, and he tried to curse Israel. He said, but he started blessing Israel, because the order that he seen that the camp was in, the order, Israel had a certain order, the way that they set up their camp in the directions, the different directions, and the way that they had blast on the trumpets. This meant to take this portion of the camp down because they were getting ready to journey. This blast meant to break down this portion. This blast meant it was time to take down the tabernacle in the wilderness, to dismantle it, to move, because they were moving the whole time, these 40 years, just wandering around in a circle. But they were doing things too, but they were losing people, well, what we would call natural death. Because that whole generation had to die. Everybody over 20 didn't make it in, but 2 people. That was Joshua and Caleb. Even Moses didn't get into the promised land. Like Dr. King, he said, I might not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight, we as a people gonna get to the promised land. He knew that he wasn't going. And Moses knew that he wasn't going either, for a mistake that he made in the wilderness. Now, he couldn't curse Israel. He started blessing him. He came back down. He said, I told you to curse him. I done gave you whatever you wanted. He said, I can't curse what God done blessed now. He said, he said, I'm bad, but I ain't that bad. He said, I can't curse what he done blessed. He said, go back up. He said, I can't do it. He said, but this is what I can do. He said, I can tell you how they can curse themselves. He said, we're going to put a stumbling block before them. We're going to make them violate their laws. And then their deity their God will not be with them, and they will lose access to his assistance. And that's what he did. He formulated a stratagem so Israel would curse themselves. So what he did, he went and got all these beautiful women, Midianite women. Oh, they was fine. He dressed them up. They got their perfume and put on their finest clothes. He got the finest women, their jewels, and they came in, and the men started mingling with them. They just dumped the sisters. They started dealing with the Midianites, they was black too. And they started dealing with them, but they wasn't supposed to mix with them people. They was from a different nation. And they started getting cursed. And Moses was perplexed. He didn't know what to do. Him, Aaron, and all of them. But you got to remember, Aaron was the one who led Israel in the procession of evil when they built the golden calf prior to this confrontation in the wilderness. He helped build the golden calf, so his record wasn't clean neither. So anyway, he's still perplexed. He don't know what to do. So here come this prince from the tribe of Simeon. He come parading up in there, a prince. Guy's always been in some type of stuff, especially when it comes to women, even to this day. In our community, the princes is known for being womenizers. I ain't gonna go into that right now, but if they start talking stuff, I'm gonna pull their X-Files out. They know how I do it. He come up into the camp with a Midianite woman, go in his tent. And this brother said, I can't take no more, because we getting tore up, we getting fixed up. And he went in the tent and he killed both of them. Drove a spear through him. This is recorded into biblical history. And it says, Moses said, everybody that's on the side of the Lord, everybody that's on the side of God, come on this side. And everybody that ain't. And that day they killed 14,000 men who had slipped into that folly. And that stopped the plague. But the stumbling block was the women from a different nation that they brought in the midst of the people. And that's the only way, that's an illustration of today, what I'm talking about. Nobody can curse us as a people. We have to curse ourselves. But when we let an abomination stay in our midst, we on the collision course with destruction. When you got one pervert in the midst, priesthood, that has violated not one, not two, but several. That means many children. And the parents that are fearful, that are embarrassed and ashamed, that won't come forth. And you know, and repeatedly they do this. And you let them slide, and the brotherhood won't raise up. What kind of men are you all? That's why I say I'm going to start making balls for y'all. Because you're wearing BBs between your legs. You want to raise up and you want to attack those that's standing for right, you wrong. I don't care who you are. Whether you man, woman, child, misguided, misinformed, or whatever. If you don't stand against something like that, a man molesting a child, a defenseless child, you better be glad the conditions are presently like they are. Because you will go with them. You aiders and abettors. Because you don't know the God that we serve. You really need to read history. Because you all on grace and mercy. But it's going to run out one day. And it ain't, see, don't look at me like I'm the minister. I'm not no minister of the Ministry of Divine Justice. I'm just a spokesperson. I'm just on the council. The ministry of justice is too big. We don't have no one person talking about this is the minister. We ain't got no minister with no title like that. The Holy One of Israel, God, YAH, the supreme being, the omnipotent, the almighty, he's the minister of justice. Why? Because in the 61st chapter of Isaiah, in the 8th verse, he revealed to the inspired prophet, he said, I'm YAH, I love justice. So if you don't love justice, if you haven't set up a standard, if you holding your peace, then you hating justice. You hating what God loves. That's why I say the wicked ain't going to understand. They ain't going to never understand. If you wicked, you ain't going to understand what I'm saying. If you don't understand, you just wicked. Look in the mirror and say, I'm wicked and I'm going to do my thing and I'm going to face my destiny. Because that's what you're going to face. See, the main problem that we are confronted with is that the priesthood has not been consistent in their teaching. Originally, the priests were rigidly taught to teach. They were taught to teach and given and allowed the most teaching time in the community. But the priests were not consistent with their teaching, and they were not able to innovate and come up with the practical things that related to the people in this day and time. They were given the keys to teach the people, but by being robotic and lazy and dedicated to men that they were supposed to be teaching, the priests were never supposed to be political. And this is where they made a mistake. And the priests were supposed to be those that help the people, not oppress the people. They were supposed to advise the leaders and tell them, look, you're out of bounds on this. You can't treat this person like this because you're in violation of universal guidelines. You can't do this. And they were supposed to keep them in check. And the priesthood had that power, but they didn't exercise it. They didn't continue to teach the people. They didn't continue to do that because they were just afraid. They were afraid of what? You know, wasn't nobody gonna beat them up, wasn't nobody gonna kill them, but they were trying to win a popularity contest. This is what it was. But the truth ain't never popular. Anybody that speaks truth know that, because truth then entered into a life and death struggle with evil and lies and deception. And the whole world is rotating on the axis of a lie. We said that before. So you got people that are bound by truth, bound by prophecy, bound by divine instruction, but you got people that are bound by the spirit of error. You know, because these people that are satanically inspired, they're not going to never make no mistake and do what's right. These are your adversaries. Somebody cannot continue to come up and say, I'm sick. I'm just a creep because I'm sick. And you a chump and you go for that? That they sick? If you're sick, you need to go see a doctor. You know, we're not equipped to deal with you and your sickness. So you got to go to somebody that can deal with your morbid, perverted sickness. And you need to be packing up and getting out fast. That's what you need to be doing, not protected. You got more mercy than the Creator. Listen, did Moses, did Abraham's, when the three angels went down into Sodom, and Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed, and these men came to get the angels, these perverts came to get these men out of Lot's house, which was related to Abraham. What cure did he give? What did the three angels do to these perverts? Lot even said, look, leave these men alone. These are holy men. Take my daughters. Because Lot was caught up into that stuff too. He was just getting out on the mercy of who he was related to, because he said, if you could show me 10 righteous men, he got all the way down to no righteous men could be found in Sodom. The three angels blinded all of them criminals. That was their pedophile protection program. They blinded them, and Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed. Did Moses have a pedophile protection program? Joshua have one. He certainly didn't have one. Did any of the prophets of Israel, the warriors, did David have one? Did Solomon have one? Did Saul have one? Did any of the men in the scriptures, Old Testament, New Testament, have a pedophile protection program? Not one. But why do we have one here? Are we saying that we greater than the prophets? That we wiser than our forefathers? That we making not only the same mistakes, but the worst mistakes? But there is a biblical precedent to what was did with the Sodomites and everything that was in this land. It's not new. They were expelled to the borders of Israel. They couldn't come back in this land. They were hunted down. They were ran out of here because they were an abomination. And they in your midst, and you think you're going to be blessed? You think, it was said that we're going to take our problems with us. That's what was taught. And you had some of you chumps around and talking about, yeah, we got problems. We're going to take care of our problems with us. No, we ain't taking them problems. We might have a problem with somebody, a minor problem. They don't tie their shoes up. Or we can't stop them from drinking a beer. Or we can't stop them from eating a pizza. We can take them type of problems, and when they get sick or catch cancer or whatever from doing that, maybe then that'll prevent some others from doing it. But if you got a pervert in your midst, we're dealing with that right now. We ain't carrying that with us. We're going to deal with that situation right now, because a pervert's mission, a pedophile's mission, and I'm harping on these pedophiles, is to create more pedophiles in his image. You got pedophiles walking around here. We're going to show their pictures so you'll know, the world will know who these pedophiles are. Because we just not calling out one. We calling out several pedophiles so you'll know who they are. The world needs to know who they are. We put them on these DVDs and we're going to call them out, whether they like it or not. Because you ain't going to do nothing. Got pedophiles up in here molesting children that don't even have no biological children. And they molesting children, and you chumps is letting them get away with it. You won't even speak out in opposition against it. You fraternize with them. You patronize them. You one of them. You an aider and abetter of them. You coward. Yeah, I'm calling you that. If you don't like it, too bad, chump. You let somebody mess with a baby, and you ain't doing nothing. It's not a week that go past that you don't hear about some pedophile being revealed in the Catholic Church, the Boy Scouts, somebody in England, somebody in Europe, somebody in America, somebody even in this country. But you trying to keep it a secret, talking about somebody airing out their dirty laundry, and you mad at the messenger who tells you that, priesthood? If you don't do nothing but spit, do something. They'll say, yeah, you're a coward, and you're an enemy of truth, and you don't care nothing about your people. And this is the mistake of the ancient priests. They failed to make the difference between the clean and the unclean, the holy and the profane. It's been a long season that Israel has not had a teaching priest. 2 Chronicles 15 chapter, the 3rd verse. 59 times you haven't repeated it and gone over it and over it and over it and over it and over it until it becomes a mantra, until it sticks in your mind that it's wrong, that it's wicked, that it's evil, it's not right, it's immoral, and it'll destroy any people over a period of time. This is going to be a one-generation struggle. The kingdom of YAH at Jerusalem is supposed to be the shining golden cup sitting up on the mountain, and you got criminals in your midst like that? That means that you've been infiltrated by the sons of Satan. And you're too cowardly to confront them, and you're making evil comfortable in our midst. And when you stand up against it, and the whole community don't stand up against it, if it takes a whole community to raise a child, then certainly it takes a whole community to protect the child. And you won't protect your own children? These are your children? What's wrong with you? You cowards? Yeah, I'm calling you some cowards. You don't like it? Come and prove to me you ain't a coward. Come and stand with the Ministry of Justice and root these dogs out of here. I don't care who they are. We need to get them out and get them out fast. We take it on anybody that want to volunteer to come and with us and to get these bandits out of here. I don't care if you're 11 years old. We got criminals that beat up children. And nothing is did about it. Not they children. They don't even have children. And they beating on children in front of children. What kind of mess is that? And you cowards sitting back, the same criminal that is a pervert, a pedophile, a child abuser, molester, you got him pulling security. What kind of foolishness is that? Israel's security is doing what's right. That's your real security. You walking around with a stick talking about you on BTAC home. BTAC home means security. You ain't on security. You insecurity. Because you making us all insecure with your perverted self, walking around here thinking that you securing something. Who gonna listen to you anyway? What you securing? Somebody, area where somebody getting molested, and here's this chump talking about, I was about to be a government official until that stuff came out on me about I was a pedophile. I got revealed. A minister, official of what? Satan? You one of Satan's officials? You already that. You don't know nobody has to anoint you to be a Satan official. You one of Satan boys, or you the police or something. Priesthood. Do something. Stand up. Be men. You led us into captivity before. You trying to lead us back into captivity, priesthood? By not making a difference between the holy and the profane, the clean and the unclean. You are not repeating it over and over and over again till people get tired of hearing and say, okay, I'm going to do right. Or I'm going to leave because I'm tired of hearing your mouth talking about do right. Don't do this. Priesthood, that's your charge. Because if not, you're going to be cursed. Therefore, you dismissed. Until you do something. You ain't no priest. I don't care what they call you. I can say this with authority, because I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm crying out for the abominations that's in the midst of this camp. And I know why the people are doing what they're doing, because you not teaching. Thus saith YAH, or practicing the universal laws, priesthood, form of priesthood. Quit being chumps. Get up and do something. I'm challenging you all. Do something. Now, you can say that, you don't like what I'm saying. Well, come to my house. You know where I live. I ain't hiding. I'm out in the open. And come and tell me you don't like what I said. Or you come and say, hey, I'm with you on this. But you ain't got to be with me. Be with YAH. You ain't got to join. I ain't looking for no following. I ain't campaigning. Just do what you're supposed to do. Because I know what you think about me. You think I don't know? I know what all y'all think about me. He always troubling us. He always got something to say. For 35 years, I've been in opposition to everything wrong up in here. I ain't never stopped. Some of you officials ain't never liked me, because I peeped you from the beginning. That you was corrupt, you wasn't right, and you was wicked. And you ain't never liked me. But the day it came, this is Judgment Day. It's time to speak out. Everybody should speak out for the wrong that's been did to them by you all. And the priesthood for not teaching, because it's not the fault of the people, it's the priesthood's fault for not teaching the people between the holy and the profane, the clean and the unclean. It's your fault that the people don't know. Don't get mad at the student if you don't invite the student to the class. If you don't see the student, you're supposed to teach the student. You're supposed to be an example in the midst of the people. You're not doing that. You're not doing nothing but ostracizing people. Talking about he off, she off. Be a man. This message is going out to let the world know that there's some spirits here in this land that are not sitting back accepting everything stupid, everything foul, and is not taking a position against evil, because Israel has always had someone to bring them a message, a succession of messengers to tell them the truth. It's never been without that, because the God we serve is just, and he's not going to do nothing to you until first he warn you. Now, you ain't got enough warnings. Here, you ain't got enough warnings. You can't say nothing. Clean up your own house before you start talking about going out teaching somebody. You can't teach nobody. Teach your families. Teach your wife. Teach your children. That's you. They're your responsibility. Teach the people. Quit sitting back murmuring, talking about, oh, he ain't talking right. He against the Messiah. He against the kingdom. You don't define who against the kingdom. Say this kingdom gonna break in pieces all kingdoms. This nation is being broken up, not the kingdom being broken up. You can sit back and say, well, if you don't like it, you need to leave. I'm not going nowhere. You leave. Because I don't like what you're doing. You leave. You don't tell me to leave. I ain't going nowhere. I'm going to be a bone in your throat, a thorn in your side, and a foot in your behind. As long as I'm here. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to instigate, provoke, agitate, and incite for God, the God of Israel. I'm going to say what he needs, what he wants me to say, not what you want me to say. You don't wind me up like no robot and tell me, go say this, go say that, repeat this slogan, say that, do this, walk here, lie to the people, cover this up. It didn't come from me. You ain't gonna never get me like that. You ain't gonna never count me among the broken men. Never. None of y'all. You're not breaking my spirit. I was born for this day. My life was spared for this day. You don't know nothing about me or where I come from, but I was born for this day to confront evil and wickedness. I'm not the only one like this, but my mouth is just big enough to say it. I'm just a spokesman for the ministry of justice. Just me. And I come in the spirit of humility. It may sound like I'm wolfing, and I am wolfing. But it's for a good cause. Stand up and be me in priesthood.
Be